So I got this note in the mail, or a brochure in the mail, and it was from the U.S. Deputy Sheriff's Association. So it kind of made me nervous when I first looked at this because it's quite official looking. It's got a star and everything. And it's like, oh my gosh. And it's addressed to me and says, to my name, Robert Kerrigan, your help is urgently needed to get bulletproof vests to our police in these dangerous times because essential equipment is sorely lacking due to state and local government cutbacks. I hadn't heard about any cutbacks for law enforcement, so I didn't know what they were talking about. But they needed money, and they wanted money right away because they need to get bulletproof vests. Well, we want our police officers to have them. We want our deputies in Highway Patrol to have them. It should be standard issuance. Anyway, I can't imagine a sheriff or a police department saying, well, we'd rather have a meth truck that knocks trailers down than to protect our officers with bulletproof vests and other things that we want our officers to have. So here's the other message that went with it. It says, with the radical anti-cop and defund the police movement sweeping the country, ambush cop killers on the rise, and politicians releasing thousands of criminals during the COVID pandemic. Our local law enforcement officers are literally under attack. Oh my gosh, what can I do to help? Oh, send them money. So they have a picture here. I don't know if you can see it on the screen. I'll hold it up and see it. But the picture is of some wacko nut with a sign that says defund the police. And another one says, there's no such thing as a good cop. Some idiot posted that sign, so they took a picture of it. And then the defund the police. Let me explain this defund the police thing. My personal view is it was a dirty trick played by politicians, and they got some crazy wacko left-winger to agree that it was a good idea. No rational human being in this country that understands anything would ever defund our police department, period. Police have to be properly funded, so it's just nonsense. But it does raise the possibility that you can raise money with this plan, okay? So I decided to look into this outfit, the U.S. Deputy Sheriff's Association, and there's something that you all can use if you want to. I like it. It's called the Charity Navigator. So when these organizations ask for money from you to help fight some evil that they claim they need your money given to them so they can help fight the evil, again, it's all based underlying on fear that we're going to help you because we're going to protect our police. Well, why do you want to protect the police? Because the police are protecting you. So if you give us money, we'll buy the equipment that governments have cut back and aren't giving our police and aren't supporting our police. But you can help. So they depended on the fear that people have to give them money, claiming that they're going to do something that's going to be beneficial to protect you. So I looked at Charity Navigator, and I wanted to find out a little bit about how this outfit operates. This is the United States Deputy Sheriff's Association. So we look at what are their operating expenses? How much is actually going to help for the projects they say they're doing? And I have no doubt that some of the money goes to buy a bulletproof vest. I don't think there's any question. There's probably some money that goes there. The question is how much of your money is going to go there. So let me just tell you what their fundraising expenses are. This is a Charity Navigator. And this is a nonpartisan, independent, neutral organization that assesses all charitable organizations. So what would you guess was their fundraising expense? The people who come up with this great brochure that shows pictures of nuts with signs saying defund the police and you send us money and we'll fight these evil people who are trying to defund the police. Who comes up with all this creative stuff to appeal to your fear? so that you'll write a big check to them, okay? You know how much their fundraising expenses are? You send $1, they keep 66 cents because they raised the money. 66 cents out of $1, they keep 66.5%, actually, okay? They have their program expenses are 23%, or 27%, sorry, and 66% is on fundraising expenses. And then they have all of the costs of overhead that are incurred to operate this outfit, okay? So their overall score rating is out of 100. That's the best score you can get. Their rating is 26.93, okay? So let me just say, well, what about some other charities? We've got a lot of charities that call us, or these people don't actually call. A lot of these really good charities don't call. So I looked at one that we all know about, most of us know about, Mercy Ships. I really like them. I think they do wonderful things for people. So Charity Navigator, I'm now looking at Mercy Ships, and they have a very high score across the board. But let me just look at their percentages that were published. And we have fundraising expenses 6.8%. So only 6.8% of the money they raise goes to the people who are raising the money. The rest goes to the operation of the charity, and that is a wonderful charity. And I'm going to tell you about one that you probably never heard of before. Many of you probably haven't heard of it before. It's called Brothers Brother Foundation. And the reason I know about this company, or this charitable organization, is because many, many years ago when they had the terrible problem in Bosnia, and they had a winter crisis where people were in desperate shape, we sponsored a program where we collected, tons and tons of clothing, and we sent it to Bosnia. And we tried to find a charitable organization that would get all of this equipment and clothing to the people that needed it without a lot of costs and expenses. They did it for us for nothing to disseminate all this. So it's Brothers Brother, and if you look at their rating, they have 5 stars, okay? The highest possible rating, nearly the highest possible rating. Their overhead expenses, administrative expenses, just 1%. Fundraising expenses, 0.2%. That's Brothers Foundation. But it just takes a lot of work to dig into this and try to figure out, okay, who's scamming who here? Who's charging tons and tons of money to raise money to keep the money themselves, or the fundraisers to keep the money themselves? Who's got the highest administrative expenses? Who has the best rating? All of this is available through Charity Navigator. My point is this: don't send money to these people. Don't send money to anybody other than your local church. We'll talk about that eventually, or synagogue, or place where you worship, and you see that money being used locally that helps the community. That's fine. But to respond to this based upon the fear that they create in making you give a contribution is just bad.